I know you are currently enjoying Stynex with its new augment right now. It's just crazy that this Warframe can gain infinite overguard, and in my opinion, with its new augment, I can say that Stynex is now a complete Warframe. It has great kill speed and insane survivability, not to mention, it also has good energy regeneration to spam abilities, and when paired with Nourish you can make sure that you won't run out of energy at all. Overall, the frame is a solid Warframe to main, but we are not going to talk about Stynex here or any newer Warframes. The best all-rounder Warframe right now that can beat this game is an OG Warframe, and I have been telling you this for months now, how insanely good this Warframe is when it comes to progression and farming. When it comes to the best Warframe this year, I think there's no doubt that Titania is at the top of the list if I were to make a Warframe tier list. The only thing that stops me from recommending this Warframe to new players is the build requirement for both Titania and Titania Prime. If I were a new player and had platinum to spend, I would just buy Titania Prime from another player and build her instantly. But the problem is you can't do that at the beginning of the game since you would need to farm resources such as Argon Crystal and Tellurium. It would take a while since you would need to progress up to the Void tile set to get Argon Crystal. Additionally, there are Oxium requirements, Neural Sensors, and Neaton Extract, which hinder you from getting Titania Prime at the very start of your Warframe playthrough. And of course, mods would be scarce at the very beginning of your playthrough. But once you get Titania, it will be super easy to breeze through content in Warframe. Almost all Steel Path levels can be completed just by using Titania. The only boss fight in Steel Path that was painful to watch is the Zealoid Prelate. The boss was very tough to crack, and it would take some time to deal with. Also, the Orb Mother fights in Orb Valis would take time, and the Eidolons in the plains too. Other than that, the whole Steel Path progression was smooth, and after you progress through all the missions in the game, your Titania can also be used for farming and gaining tons of platinum. While she is not a Warframe like Korra and Necros that can increase your resource gain, she's actually good at finishing Void Fisher missions and missions that are the fastest way to acquire relics. Titania is a solid S tier in my opinion, since she is one of those Warframes that can farm Lyth, Neo, and Meso relics in just 1 minute. This can be done by doing the capture mission in either Ukoko or Hepit in the Void. Lyth relics can be farmed in Hepit, while Neo and Meso can be farmed in Ukko within the normal star chart system. With Titania, you can fast farm these relics, even the new Prime relics, in less than a minute, and you can start cracking them in Exterminate or Capture Void Fisher missions. But how about Axii relics? Well, these relics are the tricky ones to farm, and most of the Prime parts from these relics are the ones that sell a lot in the Platinum market. I have been scanning and researching for better ways to farm Axii relics, but still, the Disruption mission in Apollo is the best mission that always comes out. You can argue that the Disruption mission on Sedna, called Kappa, is better compared to Apollo on Lua because Grineer units are easier to handle compared to Corpus units, but Apollo still has a slight advantage when it comes to Axii relic drops. Rotation C of Kappa is diluted with Gauss parts, and Axii relics have a 10% drop chance, while in Apollo, the Axii relics are dominant in Rotation B, and it drops 14% in Rotation CE. Now, when it comes to enemy types, however, the enemies in Kappa are much easier to deal with. I know most players will just strip the armor of Demolists, process a couple of statuses on them using a primer gun, then kill them with any weapon that has galvanized status mods on it. Or they will just use the Heat Inherit combo, wherein you pick 2 weapons with heat damage. The first weapon should be something that can pros heat fast, while the other weapon should do tons of heat damage and be modded with a faction mod. These are the ones that players are using to do endless runs against level-capped Demolist units in Disruption missions, and you can say that those who are enjoying Disruption missions are those players that don't mind Axii relics at all. However, there are those players who don't want to go on an endless Disruption run, and they prefer to just farm it in a couple of minutes. Titania is always the best Warframe to do this fast, since she has mobility and the kill speed to take down a Demolist unit. Anyway, we would not be doing a Steel Path version of this, unless you are also farming Steel Essence, as it's much easier to do the normal Star Chart Disruption missions if you are just farming Axii relics. Just a quick tip, you don't have to defend all conduits in the Disruption mission. In round 1 you will need to defend all 4 conduits. Then in round 2, you just need to defend 3 conduits. In round 3 you will only need to defend 2 conduits. And finally, in round 4 and beyond, you will only need to defend 1 conduit. Also, disruption mission rewards have the same AABC rotation, so basically you will get the rotation A rewards in round 1 and 2, then get the rotation B reward in round 3, and the rotation C reward in round 4, and beyond 4 and beyond of the disruption mission. It's also wise to do it with a team, preferably a team of Titania, so you can move fast and kill fast. For those who just want to farm disruption missions for Axii relics without using the primer method or the heat inherit method to kill demolists, then you can do it now in Apollo without dismounting from Titania's Razor Wing ability. Echoes of Duviri provided a significant buff to cold status, so the slow percentage is now 90%, and this affects demolist units. With a cold and radiation combination in Titania's Dex Pixia, you can slow the demolist units and kill them before they even get to the conduit. The best part of having Titania is you can just fly around and look for the demolist unit, and then fly to the next conduit after killing the special unit. I have 3 different builds for Titania. The first one is what I call the relic farming build. This is my basic build for disruption missions when farming Axii relics, and also rushing the capture mission in the void for farming the other relics. This build can also be used in Duviri circuit and even dealing with a worm boss fight in Duviri. This is also the build I'm using to deal with boss fights in the star chart and open world areas. I just change how I mold my Dex Pixia depending on the weaknesses of the boss. Lastly, this general purpose build can let you defend and kill enemies in bounty missions, as Lantern has enough range to lure enemies, and then this build has enough power to kill enemies as well. Then there's my spy or melee build. The only problem with Titania in spy missions is that she can be detected by lasers. To fix that problem, I subsume Wrathful Advance to teleport the Warframe while avoiding all those lasers. The best part is you don't have to worry about any parkour or getting into places where you need accurate movement, as you will just fly around with Titania. Wrathful Advance is also a fun build for Duviri circuit, as it makes Diwatta, her melee, insanely powerful with the decrees you accumulate over some time. Last but not least, I have a Prime Parts Farmer or Defense oriented build for Titania. I usually use this when cracking relics in exterminate missions. Just kill enemies with thermal sunder and rush the mission in less than 2 minutes on average. Also, this is great in missions where you are required to defend something, just like those interception missions in both Soti or Archon hunts. All you need to do is cast a lantern on a target to lure other enemies, and then just capture each location and wait until the data is 100% uploaded. Admittedly, Titania is not the fastest Warframe to kill bosses in the game. There are some, like Lephantis, wherein Titania is the boss, but fights like Eidolon hunts, especially in Steel Path levels, will take a few minutes to beat. All I'm saying here is that when it comes to progression, then you can use Titania to clear almost all the missions in the game without switching to a different Warframe. And after progression, you can still use this Warframe when it comes to relic farming, and even cracking relics to gain prime parts fast and sell them for platinum to other players. This was the Warframe I used to farm all the relics for the new Prime Warframe and weapons, and it only took me 4 hours to get all the prime parts of the new Prime Access. I have the relic packs, which is another best method to gain new Prime Access relics, but I needed to try out how long it would take to get these new prime parts with just pure farming alone. I'm just happy that Titania Prime made it easier and every Prime Access. You can use this Warframe to farm those new Prime relics. So that's all about it. Truly, 2023 is the year of Titania, and she is my most played Warframe right now, aside from Wisp Prime and Necros Prime. Now, I would like to know also who your main Warframe this year is and why. Let us discuss this in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the content, please give this video a like and subscribe for more Warframe content. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.